Legends EA has just released and it is fantastic if you don't mind flat windows. The shiny hunting is super fun, and because of that, we're going to look at how you can shiny hunt every single Pokemon in Legends EA. I would like to note that these methods are not necessarily the best for each Pokemon, as methods are constantly evolving, but they definitely work. Probably most likely. So it's really important to know what the shiny methods are before we start hunting. So the first method we're going to talk about is the bench reset method. To do this, you're going to need to find a bench anywhere in Lumio City and basically just spam it to reset the day-night cycle and thus the spawns in a 50-meter radius. The fantastic part about this one is that you can just hold down on your controller and spam A and it'll constantly keep doing it. So if you can get a rubber band around it or some way that you can constantly be pressing A, it's a really effective method. The next method is called the fast fly method. This is done by going to your map and spam flying to a certain location and thus resetting all the spawns within a 50-meter radius. This is mostly effective in the wild zone areas as there is a high concentration of Pokemon. It's important to note that you're only going to be able to reset Pokemon within a 50-meter radius. So if I drop a marker where I am right now and go into the wild zone, you can see that I'm not actually going to be resetting every Pokemon in that wild zone, only those that spawn within that 50-meter radius. I'm going to go over a second fast fly method that can be used to counter this. If you spam flies to a specific location, but before you go back to the map and do your second fly, you just run into the location a little bit and then fly out, you can actually respawn more Pokemon per reset. Next, we're going to talk about the runaway method. Here you can see I have an Alpha Dratini that spawned within 50 meters of me, as determined by the marker. If we run away 70 meters from this Alpha Dratini and then run back so we are in 50 meters of the Dratini, you'll notice that it has respawned. So you can just keep running back and forth to respawn it for this method. Next, we have the day change method. For this, you're going to go to a point in your game where it is about to reset between the day and night cycle. Once you are there, you drop a save and you can reset your game so that when you respawn into the game, it's going to immediately transition between day and night time, and doing this will reset all the spawns around it. Now, all you have to do is just constantly reset your game, wait for the day-night cycle to change, and check for a shiny, and then reset again. Now we know the main techniques, it's time to learn where we can shiny hunt each Pokemon. First up, we have the Chikorita line, so Chikorita, Bayleaf and Meganium, although we'll only be able to find Chikorita. If we fly to Wild Zone 20 and do a little run out to the side here, what we'll be doing is spawning Chikorita. And once we do that, we fly back to Wild Zone 20 and repeat the process. If you find a Chikorita, you can evolve it up to Meganium. Similarly for the Tepig Line, we're going to be flying to Centrico Plaza and then walking into Wild Zone 20 and walking over to where the Tepig spawn, which is just over here. Once we do this, we fly back to Centrico Plaza and repeat the process. For the Totadile Line, Totadile spawns right in front of Area 20, so if you just spam fly there, you can reset the spawns. For Fletchling, if we go to Wild Zone 3, there is a little tower here that we can walk in and out of by holding down, and doing so will constantly reset all the spawns around it. Fletchling can be found on the top of the roof here, and it's quite helpful because you don't need to press A or anything, you can literally just hold down and it'll reset all the spawns, so it's a really handy one, this. Next, for Bunnelby, we can spam fly to Wild Area 5, and if we just go through here and up to the left, there's going to be a Bunnelby spawn that we can check for a shiny. However, if it is Diggersby that you are after, you can do a spam fly to Wild Zone 17, where there is more than one spawn that you can check for faster odds. For Scatterbug, we are going to make our way over to Wild Zone 1 and make our way into the middle here where there is a bench on the right that we can do bench resets for it. If you are after Vivillon, however, you can spam fly to Wild Zone 13 and this will actually make you reach odds quicker because there are more Vivillons spawning in this area. For the Weedle Line, you can go to this location on your map and you'll see in the trees there's a bunch of Weedle and Kakuna, so there's a bench just right around the corner you can reset on. For the Pidgey Line, Flaffy and Ampharos, you can do spam flies to Wild Area 5. The Pidgey will spawn just down the road in Wild Area 5, and if you turn around, you'll be able to see that Flaffy and Ampharos will also spawn right here. If we ignore the shiny Mareep that we get in the playthrough, if we go to this location right here, just outside Wild Area 1, we can see there are 2 Mareep there, and by running 70 meters away from them to despawn them, and then by running within 50 meters back to respawn them, we can constantly be resetting for a shiny, and there are 2 there, so it helps speed it up a little bit. For Patrat and Watchog, you can go to this location on the map here where there is a bench you can reset at, and then if you just go up here and around the corner, and up here a little bit more to the left, there is going to be a bunch of Patrat that you can reset for. Okay, so for the Roselia line, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 7, and here just at the front we can get Roselia and evolve it into a Roserade. However, if we want to get Budew, it's a little more tricky. We need to do fast flies to Wild Zone 2, and it's just going to be on the left there. Here we can also shiny hunt for the Magikarp line and the Barbarcle line. However, if you're trying to get a Barbarcle, it's probably better to do fast flies to Wild Zone 5 and turn around to look into Wild Zone 16. For the Staryu line, we are also going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 2, however it needs to be at night for Staryu to spawn. Okay, so going back to Wild Area 3, going in and out of this tower that we went through before, we can get the Flabebe line, the Skiddo line, the Espurr line, the Litleo line, and the Pancham line. For the Trubbish line, if we fly to Wild Zone 8 and do fast resets there, we can actually go all the way around down this little staircase here, and then over to the right, and then over to the right again, just around there, we'll be able to find a Trubbish and a Garbodor. This can be done while hunting for the Pokemon in Wild Zone 8, so if you're doing that, come here and check these spawns as well to see if they're shiny. Okay, so for Dedenne, we're going to be going to this location on the map here, and we're going to be doing the runaway method. So we're going to run 70 meters away from it, and then 50 meters within it to respawn it, and it's just located on my marker there. If you're going for a shiny Pichu, go to this location on the map here, and we're going to be doing the runaway method. So 70 meters away to despawn it, and then within 50 meters to respawn it. If you're going for Pikachu or Raichu, there's a better way to do it. However, if you just want a shiny Pichu, this should be one of the better methods to get it. But if you're after Pikachu or Raichu, just do the same method in Wild Area 3, going in and out of the tower, and it's going to be over to the right there, behind the Flabebe. So for the Cleffa Line, we're going to make sure it's night first of all, and fly to this location over here. You can see that they spawn in the middle over there. We're going to do a runaway encounter, so 70 meters away from it, down into this little back area here, and then we're going to run within 50 meters to respawn them. And there's a few there, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long to grab one. For the Spinarak and Ekans lines, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 4. Spinarak's hard to miss, but Ekans is just to the front left. For Abra, we're going to be going to this location on the map here. I've put a marker down where it spawns, and what we're going to be doing is the runaway encounters. So as usual, we're going to be running 70 meters away from it. It's a little bit tricky just because of the building layout here. You sort of got to go around and back up to make sure that it gets despawned. But yeah, once you despawn it 70 meters away, you can just run within 50 meters, go check it, and reset for it. I'm also going to show you where you can do the day-night reset method for Kadabra. It's just on the map over here. I'm unsure which one's quicker, but it's just another method. For the Ghastly Line, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 4. We just need to make sure that it is nighttime when we are doing it. For the Venipede and Bellsprout lines, we do the fast flies to Area 5, and if we just go in over to the left side, we can see where they both spawn. Okay, so for the Honedge line, we go to Lysander Labs, and we just go in through the middle, and keep going until we get to this teleporter just right here on the right. And once we take that, we go through here and we can see that Honedge and Doublade spawn here. So if we go back to this teleporter and we just spam take it, keep taking the teleporter back and forth, it's going to reset those spawns in there. So that's how you can reset for it. Now for the elemental monkeys, Pansage, Pansear and Panpour, we go to this location on the map and we can just see they spawn over to the right side over there. So to reset for them, there's a bench right here and we can just do the bench method to try get them. For the Meditite line, it only spawns in the day, but you do fast flyers to this cafe here in Wild Area 6, and it's just going to be over to the right. If you want to get Medicham, you can also do fast flyers to Wild Area 5. For the Electrike line, we can go to Lysander Labs, and over at this location here, there's going to be a teleporter, and if we spam take this teleporter, it's going to reset the spawns. So if you go around the corner here, you can see that they change. For the Ralts line, we're going to go to this location here on the map, and we have those benches there to reset, and the Ralts are just going to spawn right down here. So there's 2 spawns that you can take, and yeah, if you just go up this ladder right here and head over to the bench, you'll be able to do the bench method to reset for them. For the Houndour line, you can go to this cafe here in Wild Area 6, and if you spam fast flies, you will be able to encounter them just over to the left here. For the Swablu line, we need to do the bench reset method right here during the daytime outside Wild Area 18. For the Ordino line, we're just going to do fast flies to Wild Area 7. For the Spritzy line, we're going to go to this location here on the map. You can see there's the Alpha Spritzy right there. And what we're going to be doing here is the walk away method, where we despawn it and respawn it by walking 70 meters away and walking 50 meters to respawn it again. And we can just do that by going in this loop around this building right here. So as I sort of get towards the end of it, you'll see it respawns. For the Swirlix line, we can see it spawns just right here on the map, just on top of that building right there. And if we jump down just right around it, there's a cafe truck that we do fast flies to and from, and that'll reset the spawns and we can go and check if it's shiny. For the Eevee line, we're going to be doing bench reset methods just right here on the map, right outside Wild Area 18. And if we just go up this ladder over here, we can see that Eevee just spawns down over there on top of that building. So it does also need to be a clear sunny day for Eevee to spawn. So that's just something to keep in mind while you're doing your resets. For the Buneary line, there is Buneary that spawn just right here inside Wild Zone 6, and right outside it there is a bench that we can reset on. If you want to get a Lopunny as well, you can reset on the bench just right outside Wild Area 18 for the Lopunny down there. For the Shuppet line, we need to do fast flies to Wild Zone 7 at night, and it spawns just over there. This can also get you the Vanillite line and Hippopotas during the daytime. For the Numel, Drillbur, Sandile, Marchop and Gibble lines, we can do fast flies to Wild Area 8, and if we want to get more spawns, we can walk in a little bit before we reset. For the Carbink line, we're going to go to this location in Wild Zone 9 and reset at this bench. For the Sableye line, we are going to do fast flies to this cafe here, and once we do that, we can go out to the left here and into Wild Zone 9. If we keep going through over to our right, there is our first spawn just right here, and then there is another spawn just around the corner here. For the Morwile line, we are going to go to the dreaded Wild Zone 17 and reset at this bench, and then if we go around over to the ladder right here and go up on top of the building, we can see that there is a Morwile that spawns just right on top of the big roof, just right over there. For Absol, we are going to go to the Ralts location, and if we look over to this building over here, we can see it just spawning there, and we're going to do runaway encounters. So running just to the end of this building here, and back over here, we can zoom in and see that the spawns will change. So it's just going to be that runaway method and zooming in every now and then to see if it's shiny. It's a little hard to see over on that roof, but if you sort of zoom in right now, you can kind of see that it's turned into an alpha, so it is resetting the spawns. For the Riolu line, we are going to go to this location on the map here, and it just spawns over there. We can see that there is an alpha one if we zoom in just right there. So we're going to be doing the runaway encounters, so run about 70 meters away to despawn it, and then run 50 meters back to respawn it. If you're after Lucario, it's probably better to just do fast flies to Wild Zone 20, but if you're after Riolu, this is a sound method as well. For the Slowpoke and Carvanha lines, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 10, and after a while, if you go in, you can just see the Slowpoke right there, and if we go down over to the water, we can see Carvanha. For the Tynamo line, we do bench resets in Wild Zone 10, just right here, and if we go down around this corner, down to the left, and down to the left again, you can see they spawn just right here. Now, for Dratini, we're going to be going to this location on the map here. There's a bunch of locations, but right here you can see it spawns just across the buildings over there, and we're going to be doing the runaway method, so run about 70 meters away to despawn it, and then run within 50 meters to respawn it again. There's also a bench over there that you can use, but you can see that this method will change the Dratini. Now, for the Bulbasaur line, we are going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 20 and walking over to this spot here in the same way that we reset for the Chikorita. So just doing the fast flies to Wild Zone 20 and walking in a little bit over to the right so it does the spawns, and then resetting. For the Charmander line, it's going to be the same as the Tepig Line, where we do the fast flies to the Centrico Plaza, but each time we're walking in over to this area here so that it resets for the Charmander, and then we just repeat the process. And for the Squirtle line, we're just going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 20, the same as we did for Totadile. For Stunfisk and the Inkay line, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 11, and we can walk in a little bit before we fly back to get some extra spawns if we want. If you're going for Malamar though, it's probably better just to do fast flies to and from Wild Zone 20. For the Furfrou line, we are going to do fast flies to Wild Zone 19. So we can just do the normal fast flies, but if we want to increase the spawn radius, we can walk in a little bit before we fly out. But otherwise, just spam flying to Wild Zone 19 should get you Furfrou. Now, for the Skrelp line, we are going to go to this location here in the Lumio sewers. And essentially what we're going to be doing is just running through a specific path, and as we run through this path back and forth, it's going to be resetting all the spawns, so we can just keep doing it until a shiny one pops up. If you're planning on evolving it, it's probably better just to do fast flies to Wild Zone 20. However, if you are after Skrelp itself, you can just follow this method of running back and forth. So it's not much further along. The path just finishes right up over here, and then once you get here, you just reset. For the Clauncher line, we are just going to be doing fast flies to Wild Area 11, and if you want to walk in a little bit to get some extra spawns before you fly back, that can also help. For the Goomy line, we need to make sure it's raining, and we go to the Lumio sewers just over here, and we're going to be going in and out of them constantly just by holding down. So just by holding down, it's going to be taking you in and out and constantly resetting the spawns for Goomy, and as you can see, there is one just there on the dock and then one over there. So going in and out is just constantly going to be resetting, but it needs to be raining. Okay, so for the Delibird and the Snorunt line, we are going to do fast flies to Wild Zone 12, and running in a little bit can just help to get these extra spawns. We can also do the bench method just right there as well, to reset for them. For the Bergmite line, we are going to go reset on this bench here, which is located at this location on the map, and we're just going to be doing bench resets, and you can see behind where it respawns. Now for Scyther, we are going to do the day-night reset method, so save right before it turns night, because Scyther only spawns at night, then close your game and reset when you come back in, let the day turn over to night, check the spawns and reset again. Now this will also work for Pinsir and Heracross, as well as the Phantom line, so you can really get a lot going on at once with this method. Now for Emolga, we are going to do fast flies to Wild Zone 14, and we're just going to run in to the right a little bit, just so we can see it before we respawn it. So it's just over to the right and here on the roof. For Hawlucha, we are just going to do bench resets right here on the map. The bench is right there. This also should work for Emolga as well, because there's one just right there. We can go across the web over to this building and see Hawlucha on the other side of that building, so the bench will reset for that. For the Scraggy line, we are going to go do fast flies to this location here, and if we just turn around and go down this alleyway right here, we can see that there is a bunch of Scraggy that will spawn, and then we just fly back. For the Noibat line, we are going to do the bench reset method right outside Wild Zone 18, and you can just see them spawning right there. For the Cleffa Line, we are going to go to the Lumio sewers and walk down this path right here. Then we're going to go to the left here, and just up these stairs we'll see a Cleffa spawn. Once we see it, we just fly right back to the start and just keep following the route. The Litwick line, we are going to do the despawn respawn method, so going to this location here and then just running 70 meters away to despawn them, and then running within 50 meters to respawn them again. For Lampent as well, when we are shiny hunting for Mawile in Wild Zone 17 using the bench method, it can also roll for that as well there. Now for the fossil Pokemon, so Aerodactyl, the Tyrunt line, and the Amora line, there's no specific shiny hunting technique other than just knowing that you don't need to buy a fossil every time you go for an attempt, that you can just save your game beforehand and then reset. Now for the Onyx line, the Aron line, and the Helioptile line, basically we're just going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 14, but we want to make sure that we run in a little bit so we can get the maximum spawns. Now for Helioptile, we want to make sure that it's daytime if we're specifically hunting for it. That's really the only stipulation, otherwise it's just fast flies and move in a little bit for more spawns. For the Pumpkaboo line, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 15. If you want to walk in a little bit between each fly, that can increase the number of spawns, but fast flies should just work. For the Larvitar line, we are going to go to this location here on the map. There's just a bench right here that we can reset on, and Larvitar's on the roof over there. For the Froakie line and Phalanx, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 5, and if we just turn around, they're in Wild Zone 16 behind us. For the Chespin line, we are going to do fast flies to Wild Zone 17, and if we go in, we can see that it has a chance to spawn in one of the burrows just in front of us. For Skarmory, we're going to do the runaway method, so just right outside Wild Zone 17, we're going to run 70 meters away until we see it despawn in the air, then just run back in till we see it respawn and just repeat the process, or there's a bench inside that we can use. For the Fennekin line, we're going to reset at that bench over there, and we can see that it just spawns across over there. For the Bagon line, we can bench reset here, or we can go right outside Wild Zone 18 and run about 70 meters away to despawn the Salamence, and then run back in over here, watch it respawn and repeat the process. For Kangaskhan, we're going to be doing fast flies to Wild Zone 19, and that's pretty much it. You can just see that it spawns right at the front over here. Now Drampa only spawns in the mornings. We need to save right there as the morning's just begun, and we're going to run about 70 meters all the way back here to despawn it, and then we're going to respawn it by running close. You can see it just spawns in the middle over there, and once the morning ends, we're going to need to reset the game and start over. Now for the Beldum line, I want to give a huge shout out to Professor Rex for sharing this method. We're going to go to Lysander Labs and walk over to the left side here until we get to the Beldum room. And when we get in there, we want to make sure we get close enough that we can hear their cries without them locking onto us. Then we fly right back to the start of Lysander Labs. And once we've done that, we start to make our way over to the right side over here, going to the teleporter. It's just to the left, this teleporter right here. And once we take this teleporter the first time, we're going to make sure we can hear the Beldum cries. And if we can, that means we're free to just keep spamming the teleporter. And once we do that after a while, we can check if we've gotten a shiny Beldum. Well, there you have it. That's how to shiny hunt every single Pokemon in Legends EA. I know that these methods are going to be updated and changed a lot, so just a reminder that these might not necessarily be the fastest ways that you shiny hunt these Pokemon. However, if you're looking to add some shinies to your team, I really hope this video was helpful and brought some happiness to your playthrough of Pokemon Legends EA. Until next time.